Okay, guys, so we're revisiting this little sheet of paper here. I forgot that we did not go over asymmetry. So let's review a little bit of the other types of symmetry. So in all, symmetry creates balance. So in art, you can use bilateral symmetry to create balance in your art piece. And that's just meaning you can draw a line straight down the middle, and the same things on one side, and the same things on the other side, basically mirroring each other. And it'll be bilaterally symmetrical and balanced, completely and perfectly balanced. So when we were talking about real life examples of bilateral symmetry, obviously nature isn't to an exact all the time, so it's not exactly perfect. But when you look at a butterfly, a dragonfly, I think we came up with some other ones like the human face and the human body. You have two eyes, two eyebrows, two nostrils, two sides of the lips, two ears, two arms, two legs, that kind of thing. Bilateral symmetry in nature. And then we did the little squish project where we put paint on one side, squished it together, and made a nice little butterfly. So again, bilateral symmetry, think two, the exact same on each side. Radial symmetry. This one was a little tricky for us, but I think we really got it when we all thought of a wheel. So think of those spokes that come out of that center of that wheel. Think of a pizza pie. And for this, we did that dot project, remember, where we drew our little circles on a piece of on a paper plate. But this is radial symmetry, same around a central axis, meaning like a circle, basically. But it doesn't always mean circle. So when we went through real life examples, we came up with flowers. We came up with orange slices. We came up with pizza, jellyfish. Those things are all, if you cut it like a wheel, if you cut it like that, they all have the same on around a circle. So last but not least is asymmetry. So this basically, the A in front of symmetry basically breaks down the word, meaning not symmetrical, basically. So unsymmetry, really. So when you're looking at something that's asymmetrical, it's not the same on either side. It doesn't repeat itself at all around a circle. So, anything you can think of, really. This is the most common thing you can think of. So, a tree, mountain ranges, anything that you really can think of is probably going to be asymmetrical. That if it's not mirrored and if it's not, exactly the same around, it's going to be asymmetrical. So not the same on both sides, and it may or may not be balanced. So remember, symmetry creates balance in a piece of artwork. And when you have asymmetry, and so it's not symmetrical, then how can we have something balanced but it's not symmetrical, right? So remember those examples we did on the board where we had two circles on either side, like a domino. This was our bilateral symmetry, and it is perfectly symmetrical, right? You draw a line, and it's the same on either side. Okay, so now you can have a dot here and a dot here, and you draw your line. This isn't the same on either side. It's not symmetrical, but it's balanced, right? Now, you can have something that's asymmetrical and not necessarily balanced. So you can have a bunch of circles over here, one tiny little circle over there. So this one, you have a bunch of circles here and one tiny little circle here. This is technically not balanced, but it is asymmetrical. So remember, you can have something that is asymmetrical and balanced at the same time. So some of the example projects that we were going to do for this little project here was we were going to cut up some pieces of paper and make little asymmetrical collages. So these are some examples. These are some student student work examples where the students picked similar color schemes and just cut up some paper, glued it, just kind of random. This one is a little bit more thought out. So they decided to kind of have like a sun ray here and repeat the little square shape here. But this is asymmetrical, so no matter which way you look at it, you cut it this way, cut it that way, it is not symmetrical. Here's some other examples. So this is a little bit more on the realistic scale. So the other two that we looked at were a little bit more abstract. These are all asymmetrical, but they're little flowers. So that's nice. So you can do that. Here's a couple other examples that are a little bit more abstract here. So this person, the student, decided to take some leaves and some paper and cut out leaves. Cut out pieces of paper in the shape of leaves, do some leaf stamps, and collage that on. So this is another example of asymmetry. And last but not least, this one's a little bit more difficult, but I wanted you to see something. This is an R. So this person just decided to take the shape of an R and repeat it all over the place. And this is an asymmetrical design, but they just decided to use the shape of an R. So you can use whatever you want. I made one that I just cut out some shapes. I cut out semicircles to make a flower pattern. I even let some of my pieces of paper hang off of my main sheet to give it more of an asymmetrical design. So you can do the same thing. You can layer paper off of your piece of paper, the backing. So however you want to do it, but have some fun. You can rip up paper. I'll show you all of these examples again. The R's, flowers, and then this was my example here. So you guys have fun, and when you are looking at artwork or when you're making your artwork, try and decide whether or not you're going to do something that's bilaterally symmetrical, radially symmetrical, or asymmetrical. So you can, just go through which one, or when you're looking at art, you can try and decide if it's bilateral, radial, or asymmetrical. So just have some fun and enjoy. Bye, guys.